My husband started acting completely different after the baby was born. My husband still has never once held our son in his arms after he was born. He doesn't call him by name. He always says, just a baby, and doesn't help me in any way to take care of him. Last Tuesday, my husband moved into the camper to, as he says, get some quiet time. Since then, I've seen him maybe 10 minutes. We had a great marriage before our son was born. I don't know what to do. Comments from the author. It's probably not related at all, and I'm just screwing with myself. My husband boxed at a semi-professional level until he was 28. He had to quit boxing after he suffered a concussion. At first, I thought he might need to get an MRI. My husband's coworker, who works as a field mechanic at John Deere, stopped by yesterday to take a look at the little guy. I asked a couple questions, and it turns out that at work, my husband is being his usual unforgettable self and not acting weird. So it's probably something mental, not physical. Yeah, he's just not himself. If I call the local fire department's non-emergency number and explain that my husband, who has a history of brain injury, is not acting like his usual self, what will they do? Can they take him to be evaluated? I'm ready to make the call. I just don't want to make it worse if I'm wrong or if he gets mad at me. Well, screw it, I called. Maybe it's the concussion, maybe it's something else. The person I talked to at the fire station was very concerned, and they're sending an ambulance. He's going to get an MRI whether he wants it or not. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I saw that documentary about soccer players. My husband has had dozens of concussions over the years. The neighbors can call me an alarmist all they want, but I'm on edge. Update 1. I called the fire department last night and talked to the firefighter about my husband's strange behavior since our son was born. Given that my husband has a history of serious head injuries and was a boxer from age 12 to 28, I was concerned. They sent an ambulance. The paramedics examined the husband and said something was wrong. They decided to take him to the hospital. We spent the whole night there, while my husband had scans and exams. There were all kinds of memory tests, flashcards, brain teasers, puzzles. I am shocked at how bad his condition is right now. I am ashamed that I didn't notice how degraded he was. Maybe I didn't want to notice anything. I watched him struggle to name the town he was born in and lived in for the first 22 years of his life. He couldn't. His mother's name, his father's name. He could hardly answer the simplest questions. In recent years, I noticed that he talked less and less about the past, almost stopped telling stories from his life. I didn't realize it was because he essentially no longer has a past. All the pictures in the house don't make much sense to him now. He doesn't remember our first kiss, the moment he proposed to me, or the details of our wedding. He knows what it was, but the specific memories are lost. A psychiatrist came to see him, but it wasn't much use. She kept asking if he wanted to hurt himself. He didn't. She asked leading questions like she was trying to trap him. When I mentioned that he couldn't connect with our son, she brushed it off and said she was on rounds. The neurologist here is wonderful. He really cares. This morning, my husband's boss and a few of his coworkers came in. They were more frank with me than they have ever been before. It turns out that the husband has been out of coaching for 2 years now. He used to be training in new John Deere technology, and then he trained other mechanics. But at some point, he stopped keeping up. He has whole notebooks full of notes and instructions that he has to know by heart. They became a kind of crutch for him to do his job somehow. Now he rarely goes out on calls alone, and almost always takes one of his colleagues with him. I met with a counselor that the neurology department hires to help patients' families cope with the effects of their loved one's illness. She said that I should prepare myself for more and more domestic responsibilities. I am scared because my husband is the sole breadwinner in the family, and I cannot replace his income with my skills and education. She explained that patients with traumas like her husband's live off their routines. When that routine is disrupted, for example by the arrival of a child, they often can't cope. The husband will stay in the hospital for a few more days. Tomorrow, he'll see another psychiatrist, and then he'll be transferred to a more modern hospital, a neurological center 3 hours away. With any luck, I'll have a clearer treatment plan, and he'll be home by Wednesday or Thursday. Take care of your brain, folks.